Happy lunch hour, guys. Okay, so again, this is going to be paying attention to what's going on around the world and how it affects us. Uh, More bank runs, more nationalism, more bringing everything close to home. This is getting interesting when you start looking at China. Uh, and that's just the first place I'm going to talk about. China has bank runs going on. Now, remember, if we go back to April, the banks were starting to freeze uh, people's deposits. We're not letting them get money out. That still continues. We're now 3 months into this, and people are like, forget it. They're starting to storm the banks. Okay. In Zhengzhou, you have thousands of people rushing the banks, demanding that they release millions of dollars, yuan, obviously. Okay. Uh, and it's getting violent. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this because the bank, now again, remember, we're talking communist country here. Okay. There's 4 banks in China. But you have bank security personnel literally attacking these people physically and injuring them because they're trying to get their money out of the bank. Now, imagine something like that happens here and you can't get your own money out of the bank. You might have a problem. What would that mean? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you can't pay the bills. Oh, so how would that be affecting China? Guess what's going on in China? The people are now refusing to pay their mortgages, whether or not they have the money or not. However, I mean, if you've got savings in the same bank as you have your mortgage, and forgive me because I don't know how the whole Chinese financial system works. I mean, I'm not a communist, unlike our current president. But, hey, take the money from my bank account that you won't let me get money out of and just apply it to my mortgage would be the way it would work in the United States if you had your mortgage the same place as your bank account, which used to be the way it was. You had your mortgage at a local bank, but not anymore. I mean, they're all sold to who knows whatever, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. But beside the point. So what you've got is a whole bunch of Chinese refusing to pay mortgages, construction loans on new projects. And this is going up there, according to the reports that are coming out today, it's doubling daily on how many people are refusing to do it. Why? Because the home values in China have dropped for 15 straight months. Okay? So think about this. You want to buy a house and you start building it. House doesn't go up overnight. Trust me, I know with this freaking garage. Okay. And the value keeps getting less and less and less and less and less. And people are finally like, forget it. I'm not doing it anymore. Making up numbers. Let's just say here, it was $100,000 to buy a house in China. Now it's worth 95. Now it's worth 90. Now it's worth 85. Now it's worth 80. Now it's worth 75. Now it's worth 70. And you're going, I'm not paying on a $100,000 note for something that's worth $70,000. It's not even done. Okay. So you're having a housing crisis in China. Gee, let's talk about large economies. I don't know. Anybody else know where there's a large economy where we might have a housing crash? I can think of some country. It's in North America somewhere. But yeah, so pay attention to that. That's going on. So people can't get their money and they aren't paying their mortgage and the house values are going down. Yeah. Okay. This is what you got. Remember 2008, 2009, where all of a sudden everybody was underwater in houses? Okay. And foreclosures went through the roof. And there's the exact same thing. What eventually happens? I mean, this is on new construction, so the people haven't even moved in. It'll destroy their credit rating. Okay. I don't think the Chinese are overly concerned about that. But let's talk when this starts hitting into the existing mortgages. Okay, people can't get their money out, etc. This is why I keep saying have bills, have cash at home to pay your bills to whatever, because you're going to need it. So we get into the other part, and again, we've talked about this many times on different countries about, let's look at some of these where we're not exporting any more wheat, or we're not exporting any more widgets, whatever the hell it would be. Countries are starting to bring everything close to home. The Hungarian government, probably about the most conservative government in Europe. Okay, Viktor Orban is cut from the same cloth as Trump. Very much national pride, Hungary first, that sort of stuff. The Hungarian government overnight declared a state of emergency due to energy. Okay, and they announced that their domestic gas and their domestic coal production will be increased heading into winter. Okay, it's July, all right, and winter's only a couple of months away. It's going to start getting cold soon. All right, for some of you guys, I'm not talking about Alaska, I'm talking contiguous 48. For some of you guys, you maybe have 60 days left of nice weather, and it's going to start getting cold. Okay, heat. So Hungary has now banned the export of coal, of natural gas, and of wood, firewood. Okay? Poor Greta Thunberg, she must be just pissed off right now, because guess what? Reality is sunk in that it's more important for people to stay warm than it is to, oh, I've got to make Greta happy. Now, obviously, you've got John Kerry and Al Gore and all these other people who got extremely rich off of the climate change debacle. And, let's not go back. We can go back into talking about Obama and Solyndra and all this sort of stuff, all the backroom deals that are made. Something I can't really talk about. There's a link from NASA below this video. Okay, NASA, space. Okay, kind of knows everything that's going on above the ground. I want you to go read that. NASA's finally opened up what the foremost authority, I guess, if you will, on the atmosphere, what they think about man's control of our weather. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. But pay attention to this, guys, because if the banking industry collapses in China, which it's starting to look like it will, and mind you, the Chinese banking industry accounts for, get this, 350% of their GDP. All right, how is that possible? Okay, it's very heavily, the banking industry is completely controlled by the government. The banking industry, they're more concerned about banks making money than retailers making money, or, the place that makes iPhones or whatever it would be. Okay, if that loses money, they don't care as long as the banks make money. There's some negatives in there. Even in the United States, our GDP is 100% based on the banks. Okay, doesn't mean that our manufacturing, our oil industries, or whatever it would be, they're just not as heavily weighted. Okay, so giving you that. But watch this very carefully, because if the banks collapse, the housing market collapse, I don't know, is that possible in the U.S.? Yeah, real possible. You're gonna be able to see what's going on. The Hungarian stuff with the state of emergency over generating power, could that happen in the United States? I don't know. As Texas. Okay. Not seeing any other places that are having the water issues that we are, but start imagining that. And I'll give you just one final thought on the water issue. You own a house in Los Angeles. You own a house in San Diego, Santa Barbara, anywhere in Southern California. You own a house in Phoenix. You own a house in Las Vegas. wherever it would be. And your water comes from Lake Mead. Your electricity comes from Lake Mead. And that ain't there anymore. And Phoenix goes back to more of a desert. Southern California goes back to a desert. Okay. What do you think that's going to do to your home values? Off the cliff. Imagine being in Southern California where you've got your nice little 2-bedroom 1950s ranch that you paid $750,000 for, and now you can't sell it. Maybe you can get $100,000 out of it because there's somebody who's willing to jump at the dirt cheap prices, i.e., I don't know, a Zuckerberg, a Gates, whatever it would be. That's what's coming. Then what do all those people have to do? They have to go somewhere, because if the water runs out, if the power runs out, so do the businesses run out. There's no jobs. This is all dominoes, guys. And what you're seeing going on in China right now is a foretelling of exactly what's coming here. Get cash at home. Get your bills paid off. Get what you need to survive, as close as you can to living comfortably. But in an SHTF situation, we all know living comfortably is out the window. Okay, survival is going to be the key. If you're in an area where you need something to stay warm this winter, get it now. Okay, if you're wood burning, go buy your firewood now. It's going to be a lot cheaper now and more available now than it is going to be in November. Okay, top off your propane, top off your heating oil, whatever you can now while you can, because any of you that are in the areas that use this stuff, y'all know what I'm talking about. You call for a propane delivery now, you can probably get it in a couple of days. You wait a couple of months, and they're telling you it's a couple of weeks. And like I said, I'll tell you exactly about housing with me building this garage. The backlog, because there's no labor to do it. It's not the materials, there's wood. Okay. To get stuff done, they're so far behind to get things done. You can't get the material. I can't get trusses for my garage. Right now, it's 6 weeks behind. I've been working on this thing since the end of March. I have concrete poured. That's as far as we've got. Okay? Because I can't get the materials, because there isn't the labor to put the pieces together. That's the housing industry here. There's not enough labor. The materials are available, no problem. But if there's nobody to do it, guys, you can't get it done. Talking to one of my neighbors the other day, he's like, he just bought a house over here. He's maybe a quarter of a mile away from here, something like that. He's like, I can't find anybody that'll come out here to work. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. You need to get this stuff done now, because it's going to get harder and harder and harder. Like I said, this morning's video, real wages have gone down for 15 straight months. We're getting to a point where people aren't going to go to work because it doesn't make financial sense. This is how you destroy a country. Our goals as preppers is to come out the other side when it comes time to rebuild a country. You and me and everybody else like us are going to be the ones that are going to have to do it. And it's going to take people who know construction, who know banking, who know plumbing, who know everything, who know how to do this stuff. Because those 62% of the people running the show right now who don't know how to do it, this is what you get when you hire unqualified people. Look at China, guys. There's the roadmap to where we're headed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Pinball out.